Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to a very, very special announcement. We're not calling it a podcast episode, but we are going to post this to the podcast feed. Not a lot of UTSA news in this one other than our news, which is really, really exciting. I assume you guys have read the title by now. But yeah, today we are here to introduce what I'm calling version 3.0 of the Alamodome Audible. And that is the launch of our new, fully interactive, content complete website.
Unbelievable.
Long need time to add some sound effects. I'm gonna be like a real YouTuber, like point up here, like
going long time coming though, but a long time coming. Absolutely tremendous. We always try to publicize Alamodome Audible as your one-stop shop for all things UTSA, not just football or not even just athletics, but even academics, right? All the sports. And now with this website, really and truly, there is that one stop where you can go and get all of your Alamodome Audible content. So it's just freaking tremendous. You talk about phase 3, Jared. You want to take everybody through 1, 2, and 3 so that
yeah, sure.
They kind of stick with the timeline.
Yeah. And before I forget to, if you're listening on the podcast feed right now, we are going to post this as a video. We're going to do a live demo of the website and give you guys a look at not only how articles look on there and how to use the website, but also how to log in. If you are a paying Patreon subscriber, which we'll get into that detail as well. Or if you're just, someone who enjoys the content and wants to, leave comments on articles, which you can do now if you don't pay us.
Unbelievable.
Which is great. So be sure to switch over to the video if you're interested, or just go check out audible.com. And there's no better way to learn than experimentation.
Right.
But yeah, so when I talk about the different phases of Alamodome Audible, I think 0.0 is like when I just started recording stuff and putting it on SoundCloud. And I was with a whole random group of friends that would pop on and guest appear on the show.
Nice.
But once Adrian joined as our co-host, that's 1.0. In my mind, everything before that was just a beta.
Yeah. Nice.
So that in my mind, that's when Alamodome Audible really started. And then for me, Alamodome Audible 2.0 was when we launched Patreon.
No doubt.
So that was when, we started posting way more consistently. We had some
bonus content.
We had a logo. We had bonus content. We started getting some
branding in the logo. Yeah, that was tremendous. Holy cow, was what an effort that was. Yeah, that was big time. To get a logo was big time.
Yep. And of course, Aaron. Yeah, of course, Aaron joining as creative director around that time was massive as well. That was like us taking the leap into being like a real podcast.
Building out our first loyalty sort of program, right? We've got our subscribers, building out our day one fan base, which if you've been listening that long, thank you so much. And tremendous shout out to you for listening to the pod that long, because none of this is possible without our day ones, with our OGs.
Yeah, no doubt about that, man. Absolutely. And then, lastly, version 3.0 is, of course, the launch of this website. It's an absolute game changer for a lot of reasons that we're going to get into here in just a second. But I really and truly feel like this is the next best step for Alamodome Audible. And I'm just really excited to share it with you guys. And without further ado, why don't we get into it?
Let's go look at it. I'm sure it's in the episode description, but what is the website? Jared, take us there. Let's go to it.
Yeah. So let's, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Oh, so there she is in all her beauty. Many. I've been telling people many months of developing this website, but really it's been years when you think about it, because every piece of content that we've ever done is on here. Every podcast, we're going to go all the way back to podcast episode 1. It's not there today. I think right now it starts around 2017 or something like that. We're going to go all the way back to the very first episode over time. But yeah, everything we've ever done is going to live on this podcast on a single URL in a single place, which was not the case before. So that's, in my mind, the main feature. It's one place to go. You can see all the content, whether it's podcasts, blog posts, photo galleries, videos, stats analysis, all that stuff, all under the same roof.
Oh yeah, the deep analytics with Jared's film room, unbelievable.
Yes. We do have a category for that on the site, so those will all be grouped together.
So sleek. It's so sleek. Look at that layout. It's like a like a nice modern hybrid vehicle, like a sweet ass hybrid Lexus or something like that.
Oh, you want to talk about hybrid?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and swap to the mobile view real quick.
Oh, baby.
So apologize all the crazy developer stuff on my screen, but let me just zoom in a little bit if I can. I don't know how to do that, but that's fine. This website is really, really, really mobile friendly. And I know that a lot of folks got used to browsing our content on the Patreon app. So whenever we designed this website, we really took mobile first into consideration. Our analytics show, I think like 70% of our traffic comes on mobile devices. So it was really crucial for us that the mobile experience is absolutely top notch. So pretty much everything on the website is designed with mobile in mind. So when you navigate the site, I'll go back to the desktop view, but it looks really great in mobile. It's really easy to use. We have different categories, right? So if you want to see all the football content, these scroll through here and you can grab our, most recent posts, read those, browse through those. We're always going to have the most recent episode of the Spotify feed on the site. And that's just a one button click to start listening, which is really sweet. So yeah, and then we're going to, as we unlock Patreon posts, we add them to a separate separate section of the website. And of course, we'll change all this stuff over time. It's all dynamic. We can make this look however we want to look. This is just the first version. So yeah, you guys can see it's pretty slick, fully interactive in both mobile and desktop. We have our Instagram feed here, which I really like. It makes the site feel really lively and really gets to highlight a lot of the great work that Eric does taking photos for us.
Absolutely.
And shows some of our adventures as we travel to road games and stuff like that as well. We got a section here for academics. So as we, talk about the goings and comings and happenings on campus and all that good stuff, facility construction, that all be hosted here, which we're really excited about. And then of course, one of the primary reasons why we built this thing was to give some more exposure to our board of trustees sponsors, our big money donors, and make their support more prominent on our page, link out to their websites. So really stoked about that. And of course, we can do custom ad placement as well. So if you guys are interested in sponsoring podcasts with your business, let us know. We've got a lot of good opportunities for that.
A lot of good eyes on it.
You can sign up for our newsletter right here. So that's really sweet. Adrian does a killer job doing that newsletter. I would say it's one of the more underrated features, one of the more underrated content offerings that we have at Audible.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. And then a lot of links down here to interact with us, advertise with us, find our content, find us on social media. And then you can always click this button to scroll back up to the top.
Oh,
slick, huh? Yeah,
I love fast, that.
Right? It's real fast.
Love that. It's got to happen. Yeah. Absolutely. So you get lost scrolling down there,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that shows up on long articles as well. And then to browse, like if you wanted to just go to the podcast page, we have that link there. We link out to our store. So if you want to check out our merch, you can do so there, our videos, all that. And then we've got different sections of the blog, right? So this will include podcasts, film breakdowns, recruiting articles, all these different sports that we cover here are all going to have their own place to live. You can bookmark those pages if you want. So if we go to like the film breakdown as an example, you can see it's filtered to show that content. Then you can go in and check that stuff out. So, this is a good segue. So, of course, our film breakdowns are almost always premium content exclusive to our Patreon subscribers. And it was really, really, really important for us that not only we build a website that can host all of our content in one place, but also that we make the integration with Patreon as seamless as possible to unlock our premium content. Yeah. So I am not logged in as a user right now. If I wanted to, I could click this little guy up here, go to the welcome page. So like I said earlier, we do have an option if you want a free account and you don't want to subscribe to Patreon, but you still want to support us, read our content, get an email notification when a new article is posted, leave a comment on an article. You can do that, right? But if you are a Patreon, it's even easier. You're literally just going to click one button right here, log in with Patreon, and it's going to send you directly to Patreon. Oh man, I've never done this before.
And we are fully secure website, baby.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm in mobile view on my desktop. It made me do that. Anyways, I'm going to come log in. If you're already logged in on your desktop, it'll do this automatically.
Or on your app, on your phone, yeah.
Yep. And then it is literally just 2 button clicks. You just grant permission to our website to grab your email address and your profile info. Just click allow. And it's going to bring you right back to the page logged in. If you do this from an article, it'll link you back to that article, or it'll send you to the homepage.
Nice.
So now if we go back to film breakdown, we can view all these articles. And voila, just a couple button clicks, super easy. Now we can see all the good stuff.
Oh, sweet.
Now this also creates a profile for you. So if you wanted to give yourself an avatar, if you will, you can click that button to log in. And, oh, is this working? Oh, I think I clicked the wrong link. Oh yeah, profile. That's the one we're looking for there. So you can come in and you can change your color scheme. You can change your username that gets displayed. So by default, it just creates a Patreon. So you can just call this, Jared, whatever you want. That's what it'll display on the page. And you can upload your profile picture right here as well. Yep. And like I said, this thing goes back for many, many years. So like if we just go to the blog page, let's scroll down to the bottom here. We've got a whole 92 pages of content for you guys.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that crazy? And we still have a lot more to add, right? And I will say that some of the older stuff on here is not completely updated, right? Let me get out of that mobile view on desktop for you guys. So a lot of this stuff is not like fully updated. So you might see some missing pictures, missing links and all that. We're totally aware of that. We're working on it. If we would have updated every single article before we launch this thing, there's no telling how long it would take. So we're doing that over time.
Maybe by the time we get to the AC.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe sooner. We'll see. But yeah, so if you guys notice anything like that, let us know. But yeah, we're totally planning to get everything update, looking beautiful on the website. Mm-hmm. But pretty much anything since like last off season for football should look pretty good on the website. And of course, all of our new content is going on this website. It's going to look great right from the jump. So yeah, just really excited. Oh, and last thing I forgot to mention is we have a great search option as well. So if I come in here and type like Frank Harris, it's automatically going to pull back like every article that we've ever written about Frank Harris. Nice. Anytime we've tagged him in anything, you can do that for any player, coach, sport, whatever. It's all going to pull in, and you can quickly see everything that we've done discussing a certain player, coach, whatever. So
very nice.
Yeah, really excited about all that.
Yeah, make those avatars, get that digest going, get that open digest going in the comments section. Let's get it popping up in the website, baby. Start that community.
Who's going to be the first person to get a band is my question, right? I want to see it happen, and it won't happen unless you guys hop in the comment section and start discussing the content.
Yeah. You have like some usual suspects, some
we'll see how it plays out. How it plays out. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Jared is pretty up to depth or in depth with his knowledge of cybersecurity. So yeah.
Oh no, don't test us, Adrian. Jeez.
Yeah. Very nice.
Cool. Let's talk a little bit about the why behind all this. I mean, I hope people will be impressed by what we've shown so far. Hopefully they'll go in and check it out and like what they see. Mm-hmm. But of course, this was a lot of work that we put in, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into this website. So let's talk about why we chose to do all that, right?
Yeah. I mean, of course, it's all a part of the vision, right? Of growing Alamodome Audible, of bringing it to the most easiest, accessible, nicest format for UTSA fan to go see UTSA news. Right. And so we've always had the vision for it. I mean, we used to talk about a website years ago, 3 or 4 years, and we've always had our basic AlamodomeAudible.com that had your podcast feed, but really nothing else attached to it. Yep. We've always talked about an immersive, multifaceted website that you'd be able to go to and do anything and everything podcast related. Right. And so we've talked about that for maybe 2-3 years at this point. Finally, we knew during the course of the football season that we were getting closer to actually building this thing out. And I think by the end of the season, we knew, hey, once off season starts, we're kind of go full speed on that. And, all credit to Jared, who really grabbed the bootstraps there and got a WordPress domain and ran with the thing and spent a lot of time making the vision to a reality, which it really is that right now. It's tremendous. But the why is always right, always trying to make this one beautiful place for you to go get UTSA everything. And this is it. This is the tangible version of it is the Alamodome Audible website in its current form.
Yeah. And you mentioned, kind of as last season went along, we knew it was time to make the leap to something more robust, more mature. And I think when you said that, I mean, at least in my mind, the number one thing that caused that kind of change in direction and maybe like a little bit more urgency to doing what we'd always dreamed of and what we always wanted to do is the ability to have a real publishing platform. Because Patreon, as great as it was and has as much success as we had on Patreon, was never really built to be like a full like blogging platform. So when we got to the point where we wanted to bring on like, guest writers and, additional people to write articles for us and stuff like that, Patreon just didn't really live up to that challenge. It's not really what it's made for.
Doesn't have the functionality for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, exactly.
And even those first days of writing blogs, me and Jared used to pull teeth at some of the functionality or the interface things that Patreon had, which Patreon's fantastic and we love it. But yeah, I mean, there were just certain things that we needed that it didn't have, right? Yeah. And something we've always talked about, well, when we get a website, this won't be an issue. Yeah. And finally, yeah.
Yeah. And now with this, I mean, there's really no limits to what we can do. I can tell you guys one of the main things I have on my roadmap to accomplish, like probably over the summer, is to add some additional resources to provide probably mostly to patrons, but some for free as well. I mean, I have a whole collection of like cool UTSA data sources and maps and all kinds of crazy stuff that I've always been like, man, this would be a sweet feature to give to our Patreon subscribers. But I never had a mechanism to give it away.
Nowhere to put it. Yeah.
There's nowhere to put it on Patreon, right? And also on Patreon, it's hard to find stuff. Like if it's not on the front page, like it's not the last 5 posts, you're never going to find it. It doesn't show up in Google. Posts aren't like connected to each other. Like there's no way to like browse through it really, other than just like scrolling down in a straight line. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff that we kind of bring to the table. And I really want to start bringing on more guest writers. We pay everyone who writes an article for us. So if you're interested and you have a cool idea, we actually have a link at the bottom of our website to like pitch us an article idea. And we'll take it into consideration. If we like it, we'll bring you on, give you an author profile, and pay you for your work. So that's pretty sweet.
Absolutely. Yeah. UTSA is growing a lot, and Alamodome Audible is trying to keep up with it, And so as UTSA moved into the race for athletics and moving up into the American Conference, only right that we upgraded our athletics facility, our website facility, and, stayed on track with the boys. We've got to keep up. We've got to keep up with the growth of our university. And with that, it's happening across all sports. And so we really, really, really need people that want to write about sports other than football. If you have an affinity or just a desire to talk about basketball, baseball, volleyball, golf, softball, soccer, you freaking name it, we would love to have it here. We need it here. We're trying to turn this into the hub for UTSA sports. So come and join us. We would love to help. Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully our 4-year attempt to find someone to write about baseball or cover baseball for us will be fruitful now after the great season they've had. So yeah, definitely hit us up if you're interested, or we'd love to talk. So I guess there's probably some questions floating around in people's minds if they're existing Patreon sponsors of like what happens to Patreon. Definitely a very fair question to ask, and a question that I had to think about a while as well. So I think the first thing to say is Patreon is not going away, right? Like your Patreon sub is going to stay how it is. We're not changing prices. You guys are getting way more value for your subscription. We're not raising the prices on you guys at all. It's not like you have to renew or anything like that. It's totally the same as it's always been. Patreon is still going to exist, right? Like there'll still be the patreon.com/Alamodome Audible website There'll still be the Patreon app that you guys can log into, but we're going to be moving all of our new content to the website. So you can kind of just think of like your Patreon account as like your key to the website that gets you access to both, the free content as well as the premium stuff. But as far as like new content, the only stuff we're going to be publishing on Patreon is going to be the subscriber exclusive podcast. And the only reason why we're doing that is we've got a lot of feedback from you guys that you really enjoyed using the mobile app to listen to podcasts, which I totally get because I do it for other Patreon accounts that I'm subscribed to as well.
Yeah.
So those will still be there. Everything else is going to be migrated to being posted to our website, and then you would use your Patreon account to log into it and access it. And it should be a way better experience for you guys once it's on there. Like I said, it's totally mobile friendly. We probably will do an app at some point in the future. We kind of built it with that in mind that, hopefully we could do that someday when the time is right. So don't freak out. Patreon's not going away. It's just that content is moving to a different place with your same Patreon account.
And so to clarify, the only thing on Patreon will be the Patreon exclusive podcast.
Yeah. And then
regular podcasts, blogs, whether they're locked or unlocked, every single blog, film room, everything, all of that will be only available on the website.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Cool.
And of course, the exclusive Patreon podcast will be on the website as well. But those are the only things that will also be on Patreon.
Right. Very nice. Yeah. So you could use the website for anything and everything. Patreon, you can only use it to listen to your Patreon podcast.
Yep, exactly. So you can just think of it as like an exclusive Patreon feed. Should you choose to use it, you can also use the website to listen as well.
Okay. So what if we come across something on the website that's not working right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. Like we said earlier, we know that some of the content, especially the older stuff, is not in the best of shape. Some of the podcast links might be missing. Images might not be there. Links missing, all kinds of stuff, right? Like we're totally aware that, like there's many, many years of stuff that we have to update, and we're probably like a third of the way through updating that stuff, maybe less. I don't know. So if you get deep into almadomeaudible.com, or maybe you did a Google search for a player or coach or something and you found an article that doesn't look good, please definitely let us know. One of the beautiful things about this website is we now have a contact form. So you don't have to, DM us on Twitter. You don't have to go try to find our email address somewhere. You can just click on the contact link in the footer of the website, and then you can leave a message for us. If you do want to report a bug or you see some content missing, please include the link to that, and we can get that fixed right away super easily.
Okay. Very cool. Very nice. So we can report a bug directly.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So I've got a few thank yous to give out. I don't know if there's anything else you want to mention on the website before we get into the round of applause for our many supporters and assistants.
No, I mean, I kind of do just kind of want to cruise through it one more time, but we could do that after the thank yous.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, we could do a final scroll through for some content. But a lot of people that I really want to thank, because their help was totally instrumental to not only building this thing out, but building it out in a way that I think that we did it right, and I'm super, super proud of. First off is our buddies at The Roost. Amazing Rice blog and podcast. They were my original inspiration for this website, because they also had a WordPress to Patreon integration where they use Patreon as like an account to log into WordPress and view premium content there. So big thanks to Matt and Carter for all that they do, being a great friend of the podcast and giving us the original inspiration for this. Many, many late night DMs between the three of us to discuss what we had planned and how best to do that. So thank you guys so much for all of that, as well as to our newer friends, the Sons of Montezuma. So you guys may remember we worked with them for the Frisco Bowl, a great San Diego State independent website with an amazing podcast as well. And they did a lot of cool stuff with WordPress. So once we found them, we started working with them. I started bouncing a lot of ideas off of them of how to best organize our content, how to manage this stuff from an administration standpoint. So huge token of gratitude for those guys for letting me bounce ideas off of them, get some feedback. And then, of course, our Patreon sponsors are why we're here and how we got to this point. So some special people I want to shout out include Maddie Vincent and Nick Larson. They gave some awesome feedback throughout this process. Maddie early on and Nick here recently, which, led to some like really positive changes on the website before we went live. But I also want to thank, I mean, we had like 20 different Patreon subscribers that tested the site in the beta phase, which was awesome for me to see that many people were able to log in. I was like, okay, like it works and it's easy enough to use if that many people went through the process of setting up an account. So that was super encouraging. Of course, you know, I don't want to list every single one of you guys, but thank you so much for checking it out and giving us a lot of positive feedback. And for everyone who's supported us past, future, present, that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this thing. The reason why we, you know, had the revenue from Patreon to pay for all this technology and stuff is support our Patreon subscribers. And also you guys keep us motivated, asking for new things, giving us ideas. So the emotional aspect of it was huge. Just feeling out support from people that I would send a screenshot to and be like, hey, check out what's coming. You know, that was awesome. So thanks again to all of you guys.
Massive, just tremendous. And I want to give a tremendous thank you to Jared himself for really taking the time, the hard work, the dedication to build out this bad boy. It was no easy task. And the guy's a perfectionist. So, you know, when little things disrupt, when little hiccups happen, or when something unexpected comes, it's not easy. You know, sometimes little storms get created in Jared's world. And he dealt with a lot of adversity, got through it, troubleshooted, figured it out, understood it, and has really, really created quite the masterpiece here.
It's been a long road, and Adrian, I'll apologize to both you and Aaron for blowing up our group chat, you know, like 8 different times a week throughout the past couple of months. So thank you for bearing with me and being a springboard and keeping me grounded through all this. Cause I've had quite a career in tech, but this might be the most complex and longest project I've ever worked on. So
no way.
It's been a wild ride. Wow. And we're just getting started. I mean, this thing's going to live for a long time. We're going to add a lot of features to it. We're going to keep updating it and making it better. So yes, let's
indeed.
do this, man. I'm fired up. I'm fired up.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be sweet. We could just take one last look at it, maybe click around on that bad boy a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Let's just scroll a little bit more. I'll go through these links at the bottom. So there's like 2 categories on the footer: business and content, and then of course like the social media stuff. So the about page is a lot of fun. I still need to change some of the colors here and add, you know, descriptions for Adrian and Aaron. But just kind of tells our story. You know, hopefully it pulls the heartstrings a little bit and gets some new subscribers to sign up. Because I think you can kind of go on the journey with us as you scroll.
Look at that freaking ass timeline, dude.
Yeah, so starting in July 16th of 2015, the very first episode that I uploaded and recorded to the Audible SoundCloud at the time. So like that's like the content we need to get on the website, and it's probably going to take a while. But we're going to get all the way back to episode 1, baby. We're going back to 2015.
Wow.
And then we get into Audible 1.0 with Adrian coming on board, 2.0 with Patreon, and then some of our kind of more recent successes. You know, our first NIL deal, first time we did the Domies, first merch store, all that good stuff. And then, of course, we wrap it up with a website launching. So it's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun building this one out. It was a trip down memory lane, and a lot of texts to Adrian and Aaron, like, when exactly did we do this? Do you guys know? It's been a lot of fun. Like I mentioned, we've got this contact. If you guys see a bug or just have a question you want to ask us, you want to submit a topic for a podcast episode, you want to introduce us to a potential guest to come on the podcast, you want us to come on your podcast, whatever it might be, you can hit us up here. It'll go to our shared inbox. We'll all be sure to see that.
Maybe you are a potential guest for the podcast.
Maybe you are.
You can hit us up there.
Yeah. Maybe you're a former Roadrunner, former NFL player watching, and you said, I got a cool story to show these guys. Hit us up. And then I'll show the Work For Us website.
Unreal.
Right from Audible. Get paid. You can pitch us right here. Tell us what you're working on. If you think our site's a good place to post that content. We got a few ideas for the type of stuff we're interested in running. And then we have some of our previous guest articles, you know, which we're super proud to have sponsored some really great content in the past couple of months, maybe a year. But we want to build this out. I mean, I think we've had 5 right now that I could remember that I pulled onto the site. Let's get to 50. Let's get to 500.
Yeah,
let's do this, man. Let's Alamodome Audible to the moon. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, what else did you want to see, Adrian? I don't know.
Oh, I just love it. Go click on videos. Let's click on videos up top.
Yeah, good call. So on this
you'll
one,
get our whole YouTube feed.
Yeah, we have an automatic feed from our YouTube. I'm looking at adding the titles to be a little bit easier to find right there. But anytime that we post a new video, it'll pop up automatically on this. So like if we go into the Domies for 2021, you'll see that we've got the embed right here from YouTube. A few features to talk about on the website as well on the single post page is at the top. This is the link to our social media platforms. So if you're a new user and you want to follow us on Twitter, you can hit that button. We also have a like and dislike. So you guys can let us know what content you're really into and what you don't like. And of course, we'll be tracking that to see what gets the most love. And then one of the biggest things that you guys can do to help us grow, of course, other than supporting us on Patreon, is also just sharing our posts, right? So we've got Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and email. So if you want to send it to a friend, you can email it to them. If you want to post on Reddit somewhere, be our guest. And
That's
of
awesome.
course, the main social media platforms. So definitely help us get some exposure there, help us grow. And then also at the bottom, this is another thing that was a huge addition, something that we just couldn't do on Patreon, is we can show you guys related content. So as you're scrolling, you might stumble upon the Domies article and you're like, hey, this article is pretty good. Like, what else do you guys have? It'll automatically pull in posts that should be somewhat relative to the content that you're browsing on that single post. And then you can explore from there.
Nice.
So this was one of the ones that we kind of imported from Patreon. So, but typically, or I can jump over to this one for a better example. So this when you can see the embed from a guest podcast that I appeared on. Another thing that we couldn't really do on Patreon, we just had to link out to the website for you to leave Patreon. Now we can get it directly on our website.
Very cool, right there on the page. Nice.
And what I love is as you scroll through a post, sometimes you'll see a piece of art or an article that you might have seen. Like if you were not reading the site before spring football started, you might have missed my 5 questions article I had. So I love that stuff is just going to pop up now.
That's great.
You can see my kind of profile here. Of course, we'll have this for everyone who ever contributes to the site. Have a little bio for them. And then this is where you can come to leave a comment and hopefully, get a good little community going in there.
Start that conversation, baby. Start it. Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be even easier than it was on Patreon to leave comments. And of course, you don't have to be a paid subscriber to leave comments now. So I'm hoping that'll make it even easier for that to take place.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, we're quite proud. I don't know. Adrian, is there anything else you can think of that I didn't show that maybe we should?
No, I think it looks fantastic. I love it. Everyone get on there, explore it, start reading, start listening. This is going to be your place to go for here on out, Yeah. And so Jared was texting me today, like, holy crap, football season's already here. I was like, yeah, pretty much is. So yeah, hold on to your hats, folks. We're about to be off and running, and this is going to be your spot for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Adrian, thanks again for all your help in putting this together. I hope the folks listening to this will go out and check out the website and give us some feedback, what they like, what they don't like, what they like to see. I've got a really long list of stuff I want to add to the site and change and update and all of that. This is just our first version that's going out live. So yeah, thank you all.
Awesome.